Well, microfinance plays an important role in our activities. It's one of the two pillars of our areas of activities. One is microfinance, the other one is local development. It plays an important role in our mandate because we believe that it provides a very useful contribution to the achievement of the Millennium Development Goal. I think many studies have shown that providing access to a variety of financial services for poor people can prove very useful to help them to manage risk, to take advantage of economic opportunities, to develop economic generating activities, and to face shocks and to be able to deal with crises during their life. And here we are talking about financial services which include not only credit but also savings, remittances, microinsurance. And again, I think evidence have shown that access to that variety of financial services can be very useful for poor people to improve their living condition in general. Now, at the same time, I recognize it's not a panacea for development. We shouldn't believe that microfinance will solve all the problem, but I think they have their role to play and they can be very useful in that respect. Well, we work with a number of partners, and I would say the immediate partners that we have are the microfinance institution that we finance. You know, in the context of our country program, we select and finance a great variety of institutions, and we really maintain a technical dialogue with them to understand their growth, their constraint, you know, the problem they face, and the opportunities they have. So we have a long-term dialogue with all the institutions. We also partner with their national association at the country level to help them better engage in policy dialogue with the government. Of course, we have very strong and close partnership with the government when we talk about policy issues, adaptation of the regulatory framework, creating a conducive environment for the microfinance growth in their countries. And on the donor side, you know, we have a very close partnership with UNDP. We do what we call joint programs with UNDP in all the countries where we work. So we really work jointly and pool our resources. And we also partner with other UN agencies and technical partners. For example, we work with the International Labour Organization in the area of microinsurance. We work with the International Fund for Agricultural Development and other UN affiliated agencies in the area of remittances. So we have a variety of partnership also in some technical areas in our work. So a very diverse picture. That's, you know, a classical trade-off which is always talked about. I mean, do you seek return or do you seek development objectives? We believe that, you know, these two goals don't need to be contradictory. I think, you know, helping microfinance institution to reach return, then be profitable, is good because it helps them to access a much wider pool of resources. And this is how a lot of MFI now have gone and been able to borrow from commercial banks in the country or to attract equity investors. So I think there is nothing wrong in you know, helping MFI to generate profit so that they can, you know, provide some return to investors or lenders with whom they deal. At the same time, we do believe that profit maximization is wrong in the sense that it's not, investors shouldn't go into microfinance for profit maximization. It's not the right area. And what we are seeking in that area is really to create financial citizenship and access to financial services to poor people. And I think a lot of investors, and not only donors, but I mean a lot of social investors, you know, have really combined the goal of ensuring a minimum return on their investment with really the long-term goal of helping this institution to grow, and more importantly, helping them once they become profitable to pass a large part of that profit for better services, for lower interest rate, for better outreach. So in short, I would say profit maximization is certainly not the recommended approach, and it's not the relevant one. And, you know, helping institutions to grow, become sustainable, be able to access a wider pool of funders, but at the same time remain very committed to their social objective and pass a large part of the return they generate into improving the services they offer to more clients. I think that's really what the objective that we are seeking. And, you know, what we have seen is those investors which have the long-term objective of helping institutions to ensure their social mission are the ones who have stayed. They have stayed despite the financial crisis. They are there to stay in the long term. And so I think this is what we are helping to encourage. I don't think we can say that microfinance has been untouched by the crisis. I think it has been touched, not as much as other sector, but it has. I think what we have seen happening is a lower flow of resources from and lending and equity investment from especially international commercial institutions towards microfinance sector. That has been a noticeable trend. We have also seen a dramatic lowering of the level of remittances from the north to the south, and that has directly impacted the life of millions of people. They are receiving less money from their relatives in the north, working in the north. And finally, the clients also are getting hurt by what is happening in the real economy in their countries. The markets for the produce they make is less than before. The jobs are getting lost. The overall situations is more difficult. The price of commodities is rising, especially food commodities. So we see a combination of factors which have affected microfinance institution and their clients. At the same time, it's true to say that microfinance has been traditionally more resilient than the commercial banking sector in developing countries, because there is so much value put in accessing those financial services by those clients that they really tend to do everything they can to continue to repay, be able to borrow again, continue to save, or have access to other financial services from those institutions.